I think it was a huge challenge to shoot at night. You know, like I don't advise anybody to do it ever again. you know, but at the same time, I think it helped because you know that's what in a more intense way these detectives are dealing with being up for three days or three nights in a row at times and dealing with the adrenaline of actually being in danger or putting other people in danger. um, you know that is their real life. So even on set, it's more controlled. We're not there's these they're not real bullets, obviously. You know, our lives are hopefully not in danger. Although we may feel the adrenaline in the scene, but staying up for night shoots for a month and a half or whatever, that will put you in a place where you still have that texture similar to what they're dealing with. I think they can expect to be once the action starts that it never stops. Uh, they can expect to sort of be on the edge of their seats. Um, hopefully they can expect to not even be able to go to the bathroom. That's what
Yeah.
I hope.
And I think also they can expect to be really surprised. I think this movie takes twists and turns that you just do not see coming, hence not being able to go to the bathroom and
Right.
leave, because it's going to take you to a place where you might not have thought of.
What happens is you have two small time guys that get in over their head and shoot their way out. And I guess unprecedented things like shutting down Manhattan happens on this huge manhunt for the rest of the evening, led by Chadwick, Sienna, and JK. And we're on the run
Yep.
with our loot.
Biggest manhunt in the history.
Yeah. A thrill ride with a lot of twists and turns, an original film, and it's an ode to the ones we grew up on.
And I would be careful not to judge it too soon because no one's actually who you think they are, and there's a lot of gray area in this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Uh, loved loved Kirk as a director. I thought that he did a great job managing a story of such high stakes. Having a high action thriller type of a film that's rooted in character and humanity. That's something I believe he pulled off seamlessly. And as far as Chadwick and the Russos go, just involved and supportive. I think that we always knew that we had those guys, especially Chad, even on the days when he wasn't working as an actor, he was there working as a producer and making sure that he was standing with us in solidarity in anything we needed.
Mm-hmm. I think too with Kirk, I'd love to take another swing with him too. He's very enabling in the best way and just very collaborative, doesn't over direct, understands where you're coming from and just wants to talk it out and then let you take a swing, which is the best thing for an actor in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And then with the Russos and Boseman, it was, very gracious guys, and they let you do what you do, and I think that's the best thing as well.
Yeah.
Again, he was on set when you're shooting nights too, you want to get the rest when you can, and it says a lot for him to come on set and just be there.
On the days off.
Yeah.
Well, the balance for me is just about timing and about having help. Like I don't produce by myself. I have a producing partner, Logan Coles, who was on set, every day, and he was on. I have, as an actor, of course, you have some days off. You have some scenes that you're not in. I would show up on set on those days, but I wouldn't be there the whole day because that would be stupid. Like if you have a day off and you need to rest, you know you need to rest and you need to be prepared for the other scenes. But Logan was there all the time. Logan, you know, brought a lot of you know, input and creativity, problem solving, and we would discuss things later. You know, but it was for me, a lot of my producing was pre-production. You know, a lot of it was in post. You know, I gave a lot of input during those times. There were certain things that needed to be ran by me during that time that he would come back and tell me, or the Russos would talk to me about. And there might be situations where there's some crisscross because I'm the lead actor and I'm a producer. Like there's a standard that's got to be set on you know, there were those days, but you know, a lot of the producing for me was before and after, because during the course of shooting, I needed to be focused on being an actor.
I think their intimate knowledge of how great movies are made. Frankly, I think that they're both master storytellers. They're both devoid of ego and put the story first. They have a great knowledge of actors and connections with actors. I think that they were demanding in the best possible way, you know, in terms of the level at which with which we engaged with the story and how we kept trying to push it forward to new heights and elevated it constantly, and in post-production also, just again their ability to look at the material afresh and divorce themselves from what the intention was and respond to what we actually had was great. I think that, you know, by the time you've made your way through 8 weeks of night shoots, everyone is extremely disorientated, and in a way that was, you know, that was very positive. You know, even the physicality of the actors was impacted by that, and we were fortunate in that we shot the beginning of the movie at the start and the end at the end, and so there was a natural arc in terms of, you know, how their behaviors evolved after being, you know, battered by sleep deprivation and the elements for that number of exterior night shoots, but also just the way the fabric of the city kind of, you know, it just creeps into all of the images in a really beautiful way, and the character of the city, and it authenticates the behavior of the actors in a very useful way. Chadwick was really the only person we thought about as we were developing this, and we were really, that was the kind of biggest get of the pre-production process, was landing him, because he, you know, effectively that meant we had a movie. I think with him what you get is he's a very singular man, and that was a prerequisite for such a singular character, that he has a level of, you know, and already demonstrated a level of intelligence and nobility both in the choices that he'd made and in the way that he delivered on those characters, and he also kind of has a very iconic aura, which and we were kind of wanted to create a modern screen icon, so he seemed like the logical person to start with. Sienna I'd been aware of for a long time as, you know, an actor in the UK before she moved to the US. I loved her in The Edge of Love, the John Mabry film, little known, and then she followed that up, you know, with work like, you know, Foxcatcher, American Sniper, American Woman, and you sort of understand that this is a character who or a woman who's got an enormous range, that she and also has a sort of intelligence and honesty that were really, really, really important to the story in terms of how you discover things and when. You know, her behavior has a major bearing on the plot of the story of the movie. So she needed to be able to both lead and misdirect at different times, and she definitely had the facility to do that. With Stefan, that was a really hard part to cast, because we had to understand, we see this man participate in a bloodbath at the start of the movie with Michael, and we have to understand that there's more to him than that. That, you know, over the course of the story we discover that like Chadwick, he's a guy who was sort of malformed by grief in his early years, and that he's basically been led into a situation. Ray protects him and loves him, but is also he's a time bomb. So he destroys everything around him. So you got to understand the humanity within this man in a very graphic way, and Stefan has that kind of incredible sensitivity, but also like he has I think somebody said of a young Brando that he had the body of a prize fighter and the face of a poet, and Stefan has that as well, and that's kind of what that character required. With Taylor, we needed somebody who was very compelling but also very dangerous. So, and the compelling bit was super important because that charisma, so that we'd understand why Michael had allowed himself to be in the orbit of such a man. But like I say, he because he goes off like a hand grenade, he also had to have that facility with violence. And then you got J.K. Simmons, who is just a consummate dream actor who's got so much authority and rage. And with him, the two key things were that he would have a paternalistic warmth, but also a patriarchal rage that, that's kind of what drives him as a man and what we discover as a major driver in the whole movie.